So, Wish Upon a Tree. We always want to look at the title. Sometimes it is quite ambiguous, but after we read the introduction, maybe there are repeated keywords, right? And especially we want to check the thesis statement. Okay, but this is an ambiguous title. I don't know what it's talking about. Strolling down a stone path surrounded by Japanese dogwood trees, visitors to the Smithsonian Institution's Hirshhorn Museum Sculpture Garden might notice hundreds of paper tags gently swaying from the dogwood trees. So right away, I see repetition. So whenever you see repetition, you know that this is testing you on redundancy, right? So we want to choose the most concise answer, and that would be C, because you can see that in B, the blowing and swaying, that is the same thing, right? Pieces of paper that sway gently from the tree branches, we already know they're hanging from tree branches. So C would be the best one. All right. And if we go down to number 2, which most effectively establishes one of the main ideas? So far we don't know what the main idea is. So we need to finish reading the paragraph. Entitled Wish Tree for Washington, this exhibit, okay, so this tree is exhibit, was the creation or brainchild of Yoko Ono, an artist and musician who has spent decades creating interactive art designed to encourage and incorporate the participation of its viewers. So pretty much it is interactive art designed for peace. So let's take a look at A. A says favorite installation with Hirshhorn patrons decorate trees every year. So the date is not essential. It doesn't talk about how it's interactive art and platform for peace. So we can cross it out for now. B, paper are secured to the trees with strong cotton string. All right, so this is talking about the material, the cotton string. We can cross it out as well. C, paper are exposed to the elements, but they're still for the most part intact and legible, meaning you can read the words. No, not really connected to the theme. And that leaves D, because if you want peace, that is very ambitious, right? Hopes and dreams of the patrons. So they write it down. All right. For her Wish Tree series, and number 3, which is perhaps her best known interactive project, Ono was inspired by the temple courtyard she visited as a child in Japan, where people could write wishes on small paper tags and then tie them to trees. So for these long sentences with punctuation, we want to cross out the phrases, right? So if you look at A, for her Wish Tree series, that is a prepositional phrase, and which is a relative pronoun that is dependent clause, and they use a semicolon. That means A is a fragment, so we have to cross it out. If we look at B, perhaps her best known interactive project, Ono was inspired by the temple guard. So this one actually works. Why? Because we have comma here and then comma here. So essentially, B is our non-essential appositive. So in this case, we would have phrase plus phrase, comma, subject verb. Ono was inspired, and that is why we would choose B. Okay. And if we look at number 4, which provides the best transition from the first 2 sentences of the paragraph? Okay, so sentence before says, Ono once compared the stunning visual result, because she saw that as a child when she was visiting Japan, right? And she was very inspired. She likes the white flowers blossoming from afar. So afterwards, she created Wish trees. So this is more of a cause and effect. Because of her childhood experience, she decided to turn it into an exhibit. So the answer C, to bring this experience to more people, that would be a good transition. And remember, for transitional sentence, a lot of times we're looking for keywords like this, that, these, those, the, such, plus now, because that's referring to what's stated in the previous sentence. All right. And number 5 is just vocabulary. By encouraging people to reflect on their aspirations and to contribute to the project, right? So contribute to. And we can skip to question number 6, which is punctuation again. Okay, so in fact, remember, it is a conjunctive adverb. So for conjunctive adverb, by far the most common way to punctuate would be to use semicolon and then comma when you are putting them between two complete sentences. But if you use one in one complete sentence, you want to make sure you have comma, comma. Okay, so let's see what we have here. The exhibits have proved very popular. More than 1 million wishes have been written. So we have 2 complete sentences. So C, semicolon, and then comma. Okay, and number 7, this is pronoun. Visitors have filled their tags with diverse hopes, ranging from goals for the visitor's family. So we know this is plural possessive 7. Okay, and then in addition to museum installations, Ono has provided instructions for schools, workplaces, and communities. Whenever you see comma, comma, and, you want to look for parallel structure. So this is parallel nouns, and A would be our correct answer. Okay, and number 9. The writer wants to add the following sentence to this paragraph. A wish tree exhibit at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Sydney, Australia, for instance. So do you see how this is an introduction to the example? Use 6 lemon-scented eucalyptus trees. So if we take a look at the first sentence, it says Ono's trees have been shown in museums around the world. And our sentence is an example of this general statement. Specifically, where around the world? In Australia, right? What kind of trees? Lemon-scented eucalyptus tree. So we should put it after sentence 1. And that is A for number 9. Okay, and if we look at number 10, combining sentences. So let's start from the tower. The tower was also designed by Ono, Ono's tower. So remember, when we're combining sentences, we want to avoid repetition, right? So you can see A is repetitive because it has the tower, right? And it also has it. And we also want to keep the same relationship. Keep the same relationship, meaning if it's continuation, contrast, procedural, or cause and effect, you want to keep it the same. So B is wrong because it's not a contrasting relationship. C is also wrong because you can see the tower is being repeated twice. So D, using adjective clause to directly modify the noun before, is oftentimes the best way to combine sentences. And last question, which choice most effectively sets up the quotation at the end of the sentence? So we take a look here. Ono's tower is a beam of light that shines each winter from a base carved of stone into the aurora grace Icelandic night. Radiating symbolically from a well of wishes, the tower is a reminder of Ono's international reputation, maybe, but we are not focusing on Ono herself. So this one is unlikely. A dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together. So we're talking about togetherness. And if you remember, our title is Wish Upon a Tree. And our thesis statement is that it wants to make it a platform for peace. So it's for everyone. So we can cross out A because that's focusing on herself, right? And we can cross out C. It has nothing to do with green energy and the popularity of exhibit. So only B, world peace, echoes with our thesis statement, a platform for peace. Okay,